I'm delighted to have as my guest interviewee today James Paterson, who started an initiative called Tin in a Bin in Wanstead. So welcome, James. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Can you tell me a little bit about Tin in a Bin, how it started and where it's going to?
Sure. So Tin in a Bin is a network of about 50 to 60 households around the Aldersbrook, Wanstead, South Woodford and Woodford Green areas. And these are people who have a bin outside their house to collect goods that other people in the local area to them will bring and donate to our cause. Tin in a Bin is a central, almost like a wholesale operation, where we then take in all these donations from individuals and their houses, and we will then distribute those to worthy causes. And at the moment we're looking after 7 to 8 worthy causes. These range from very large food banks who are supporting maybe 800 families every 2 weeks, to smaller food banks that are run in local churches around the neighbourhood. We don't have any county boundaries or anything, or borough boundaries. We look to fill the need wherever there's a need.
How did that come about?
Just by the Wanstead monthly farmers market.
Yep.
We have a guy who has a fudge stall.
Yes, I know.
And he mentioned to a lady that he was looking for a food bank. Was there a food bank locally? And she happened to mention Tin in the Bin, and then she put us in touch with him. And he'd bought a lot of dried goods that he was going to supply people if there were shortages in the second lockdown, and there weren't any, so he had accumulated quite a lot of dried goods
that needed a home.
And one of our biggest food banks that we supply is in Forest Gate, and they have huge families who come who need support. So they're quite happy to have a 20 kilo bag of rice to give them.
That's fantastic.
Which keeps them going for a few weeks and things. So yeah,
that's
really
brilliant.
great. Yeah.
So a little bit more about you. So obviously you're local. Do you have a favourite open space in the area?
I think my favourite open space, it's divided by 2, but it's sort of the same thing.
Oh, go on.
So it's the churchyard next to where we are at the moment at the golf course.
Yeah.
Because that's a very special space, and we spend a lot of time looking after that. But Wanstead Park, which the churchyard is almost part of, is my go-to special space.
They are beautiful spaces.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know that you have a dog as well, and probably walk in the park with a dog as well.
Yes.
Do you have a favourite bar or restaurant around here?
So favourite restaurant I think would be Zainab's Kitchen. We've been going there for many years through its different guises, and we've got to know the people, very friendly, nice terrace outside. And,
so presumably they've been able to operate on there throughout.
And yes, at one point they were just doing takeaways, I think only. But yes, it's always worked really well, and we get on so well with them now that we can actually order even if we don't have any money to pay, and they let us pop in there the next time. So
that's definitely a regular. I don't know if you're much of a shopper, but if you are, then do you have a favourite shop in Wanstead?
I don't shop so much in Wanstead.
Right.
We tend to do we have food delivered probably most of the time, because especially with COVID, it's been the easier way to do that. And probably clothes and things like that, I'll go somewhere else. But
our local high street is a lovely high street, nice.
Yes, it is lovely, and it's also very nice that you can just pop into a number of coffee houses and just have a coffee and just break up your trip around whatever you're doing by just sitting down and talking to people for a while.
One of the few positives that have come out of COVID is I think that people are shopping local, and we have got a really vibrant high street now, which is great.
Indeed.
Do you happen to have a favourite building in East London?
So favourite building is definitely St Mary's Church, the parish church. It's the only Grade 1 listed building in Redbridge, and it's just a beautiful Georgian gem that hasn't been touched by the Victorians, hasn't been spoiled, and retains many of its original features. So it's just lovely.
Don't they open the crypt every few years?
So yes, they open the crypt every 5 years.
Right. Okay.
But I can give you an update on that, because
exciting.
We've decided in the parish council to actually open it more often. So at the moment it's bricked up, We had some vandalism there in the 1950s or 1960s. Right. And there are grave vaults down there, so we have to keep it secure. But we're now going to fit a proper, very modern, secure gate in there, so that we can now make it open more often. So coming soon will be guided tours of the crypt.
Oh, so that's breaking news then. You're going to be opening the crypt on a regular basis.
Not just every 5 years.
That's brilliant.
Yes, that will be good. Yeah.
And where do you see Tin in a Bin going?
The vision for the future is to keep looking for people in need, and to keep looking for additional resources. So over the winter we had a COVID grant from the London Borough of Redbridge of £15,000, which we then spent quite a lot of time researching where we could best put that to use. Within Redbridge that had to be. But we also have our own PayPal pool, it's called. And over the year that we've been running, a bit more than a year, we've raised over £10,000 in that, and that's been used also to support people in need. We work very closely with Wanstead Community Hub, with local schools. When there were school holidays and they weren't being supported, we managed to make sure that they were being provided with bags of food for all the most needy families who might otherwise go hungry. And it's really that we want to expand the collection zone. So we've gone north and south. We now really want to go a bit further east. And we're looking at Newbury Park as the next area where people have expressed an interest in joining us.
So if people need to get in touch with you about Tin in a Bin, James, how's the best way of reaching out to you?
So we are covered on the Wanstead Community Hub. I think we're also on the Woodford Parents, I can't remember the exact name, but they've got a Facebook page. We've got our own Facebook page, so if you search Tin in a Bin, you'll find us there. Okay. We have a Twitter feed, so there are lots of different ways.
Or they can reach out to me.
Or they can reach out to you.
And I can put them in touch as well. So thank you very much for joining me today. It's been
very
really
welcome.
interesting to find out a little bit more about the history of Tin in a Bin.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks.